Alright, so I'm looking to be bearish on step index today, right? We had this bullish breakouts. Price has left this demand zone unmitigated. We are seeing signs of structural shift to the bearish side. We had price forming a lower high and then forming a lower low, and now we are pushing to form a lower high, and we might be forming a lower low. We've had this demand zone tested, but if price is to push back down, it's going to break through to the downside. Now on the 4-hour, we realize we had a supply that led to the break of this low and then this low. And normally when a supply zone leads to a break of a structure, that zone has the potential of pushing price to its intended direction. It's a point of interest for price. A zone that breaks structure, either a supply zone or a demand zone that breaks structure, it's a point of interest for price. And we are currently at a supply that led to the break of this low and this low. So I'm expecting sells on step index. And then on the 1-hour, we realize we are shifting bearish. We've had a change of character. Now we've pushed back to the supply and it looks like we are pushing down, right? This is our current demand in control. If you are to push past this demand and price pushes back into the supply that led to taking out this demand, you can look for sells to the downside. Then our targets should be way down here. So probably this week step will be bearish, right? Step will be bearish. Probably this week step would be bearish. Alright, that's my analysis on step index. Alright, so on volatility 25 1S, price broke structure to the downside and we had another break, a bearish break to the downside. Now this is the daily supply that led to the break of this low, this low, and this low, right? Now on this daily supply has been left unmitigated. Now looking at just these two candles, they are telling us a story. Price was not able to have a sustained close below this previous day's candles low. Now we close within the range of the previous day, right? So we have this range, previous day's range, and then previous day's range high and the previous day's range low. So currently we can't start looking for sells unless we trade below these lows. Now I'm favoring buys than sells because we have this unmitigated zone above, right? Now this is our current demand in control. When I say demand in control, it's the current demand that has led to price pushing to the upside, right? And the supply in control is the current supply that has led price to push to the downside. So this is our current demand in control, right? So I'll start looking for buys. If we break above, I'll look for price to pull back to the demand that led to the break and then look for buys to the upside. I'll only start looking for sells if you start trading below these levels, right? So on volatility 25 1S, I'm bullish today on volatility 25 1S. Okay, so on volatility 10 index, we had price pulling down to this daily demand and then we are seeing a reaction. I'm bullish on volatility 10 index. Now this is the supply that led to the break of this low, right? So this is the first target of price, right? Now this is the last 2 days candles high and then its candles low. Price has failed to close above this candle's high and the next day's candle is still within the range of this high. So we can't be looking for buys now, right? Now on the 4-hour, we realize we have a 4-hour demand, and then we have a 1-hour demand, right? We have a 1-hour demand which is unmitigated, and we also have a 4-hour demand. So I'm actually expecting price to pull back down. We'll have a reaction at this demand, push up, pull back down. If we get the necessary confirmation, change of character, and then we get a break of structure, we look for buys to the upside, and our target will be to this daily supply. Now the best setup will be having price pushing down to mitigate this extreme demand. We can start pushing up from this demand, but it will be best if price pushes down to mitigate this demand, and then we start to push up. So currently we can't look for buys, but we've had a change of character, right? We've had a change of character, and then price has pulled into the supply that led to this change of character. So we'll be heading down from here. Trading this would be a counter trend trade, so you could trade it at your own risk. Normally counter trend trades are very risky, but you can find really good counter trend trades. So yes, now so we can start seeing a push down from this supply zone down to this demand, or probably this demand. So I'm bullish on volatility index. Price will be selling before we start the bullish move to the upside. So if you have to make your entry down here, you can add another position when you are fully out of this range, right? Okay, so on volatility 75 index, price is clearly pushing to the upside, right? We also have a pattern formed in the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and in the head, right? We had this supply mitigated. Then currently we are in a bit of a range, but I'm fancying price breaking to the upside. We first had our break of structures, giving us a signal there's buying sentiment in the market. So I sent this setup to my community, right? This is where I placed my entry, right? And price has already activated. The target for price is this 24-hour supply. So this can be a swing setup, right? The target for price is this 24-hour supply. We have already mitigated this demand and we are pushing to the upside. I'm still fancying price pushing to the upside, right? Although we are still stuck in some kind of a range, right? We've had our first break, price pushing up, and then we are moving nicely. This is our current demand, right? This is our current demand. That's in control, right? So we had this demand led to the break of this high and also this high. So for a second entry, we should expect price to push back down, right? Give us the necessary change of character, a break of structure, and look for buys to the upside, right? To be safer, you can look for buys when price trends above this supply, right? When price trends above the supply, so you're looking for a push to the downside and then a push up. You should only be looking for buys on volatility 75 index, right? Today. Alright, so on volatility 51ness, we are pushing down bearish, so we should be looking for sells, right? This is our current supply in control. This is the supply that led to the break of this low. We are approaching a daily demand. A reaction is expected. So I'm looking for price tap into this demand, push up to mitigate the supply, and then we push to the downside. We should only be looking for sells on volatility 51 since we are breaking lows, right? We broke this low and then we are currently pushing to the demand. Now on the 4 hour, this is our 4 hour supply. Hasn't been mitigated, right? This is our 4 hour supply. So I won't be surprised if price pushes down, have this push to the upside, and then we keep on pushing down. I'll only start looking for buys on volatility 51s if we get a break above the supply in control, because currently a supply is in control of price, telling us the story that sellers are in control. So we can't be looking for buys in this market, right? Can't be looking for buys in this market. So we should be looking to sell volatility 51s today, right? Alright, so on volatility 50 index, we are pushing bearish, right? We are pushing bearish. Price broke structure to the downside. Price broke structure to the downside, right? And we are currently respecting this supply, this daily supply. Now on the 4 hour, we've had price changing character, pushing up to the supply that led to the change, and then we are pushing bearish. Now since we had a minor push to the upside, this is our current demand in control. So I'll continue looking for sells if price trades below this low, right? If we get a break below, push up to the supply that led to the break of this demand, and then we push down. Now our target will be this low, right? Our target will be this low because this low failed to break above this demand. So hence it becomes a target for price. It becomes a weak low, a target for price. So our target will be this low, right? On volatility 50 index. On volatility 51:3 risk reward, our target will be below.